ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California. It's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics, and now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time on Spreaker Radio, Roar Radio 1776, Live 365 Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and just many terrestrial stations worldwide. I'm also here every morning, Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on 405 Media Radio, and you can catch me there at your pleasure. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day, simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com, and you can call into my show if you just want to comment or engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor is David Garrett with his series, Garrett on the Law, and my special guest, Dr. Stephen Tidwell, with his series, Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. But right now, get ready for news. But before that, I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, I said we were going to give you news. We got a lot of news for you, so you know what? Let's get right to it. First off, a French official, 2 Americans subdued a train gunman. A gunman opened fire on a high-speed train traveling from Amsterdam to Paris today, wounding 2 people before being subdued by 2 American passengers, officials said. French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve, speaking in Arras in northern France, where the suspected was detained, said one of the Americans was hospitalized with serious wounds. Their names were not immediately released. Philippe Lortois, an official with the Alliance Police Union, said on iTele that the 2 Americans were soldiers. In Washington, the Pentagon said it can only confirm that 1 U.S. military member was injured in the incident. The injury is not life-threatening. Contrary to early reports, Latour said the attacker did not fire his automatic weapon, but wounded one of the men with a handgun and the other with a blade of some kind. Investigators from France's Special Anti-Terror Police are leading the investigation, a spokeswoman for the Paris prosecutor's office said. Well, you know what? We'll tell you more as we get that from the investigation. You know, so that's kind of where we're at with this thing. Now, I'll tell you what. Stocks are tumbling on global slowdown fears. Growing concerns about a slowdown in China shook markets around the world today, driving the U.S. stock market to its biggest drop in nearly 4 years. The rout started in Asia and quickly spread to Europe, battering major markets in Germany and France. In the United States, the selling started early and never let up. Investors ditched beaten down oil companies as well as Netflix, Apple, and other technology darlings. Oil plunged below $40 for the first time since the financial crisis, and government bonds rallied as investors raced into hiding spots. Investors are wondering if growth isn't coming from the U.S. or China, where it's going to come from. Or where is it going to come from, said Tim Courtney, CIO of Exenical Wealth Advisors. This is about growth. By the time it was over, the Standard & Poor's 500 index had lost 5.8% for the week, its worst weekly slump since 2011. That leaves the main benchmark for U.S. investments 7.7% below its all-time high, within shooting range of what traders call a correction, a 10% drop. from a peak. Markets began falling last week after China announced a surprise devaluation of its currency, the yuan. Investors have interpreted China's move as a sign that flagging growth in the world's second largest economy could be worse than government reports actually suggest. On Friday, they got more bad news. A private survey showed another drop in manufacturing on the mainland. Boy, and it just, you get from one bad news to another, right? But we had actually forecasted what was going to happen here in the market, and so you want to pay attention to what's going on here at Robert Cardoza Live, and also what's going on worldwide, because you know what? Everything starts here, and then it kind of works its way around. Anything that's happening bad in the European market, I can tell you, is not going to be good in the United States market eventually. Well, here's one. The White House says number 2 Islamic State leader is killed in a U.S. military airstrike. Yep. The number 2 leader of the Islamic State militant group was killed in a U.S. military airstrike in Iraq earlier this week, the White House said just today. Ned Price, a spokesman for the White House National Security Council, said Fadil Ahmad al-Hayali was traveling in a vehicle near Mosul in northern Iraq when he was killed Tuesday. As the senior deputy of IS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, al-Hayali was the primary coordinator for moving large amounts of weapons, explosives, vehicles, and people between Iraq and Syria, where the Islamic State militants control vast amounts of territory. The United States is leading a coalition of countries that have spent the past year striking at IS militants, weaponry and machinery from the air, but has made little progress in meeting President Barack Obama's goal to degrade and destroy the group, which has also beheaded hostages, including some Americans. You know what? I don't know if that's good news or bad news. We'll a few days will tell, because there's going to be repercussions, right? Absolutely. Well, UNESCO chief says the Islamic State is systematically destroying heritage sites. And this is just sad, folks. Islamic State extremists in Syria and Iraq are engaged in the most brutal, systematic destruction of ancient sites since World War II, the head of the UN Cultural Agency said just today. A stark warning that came hours after militants demolished a 1,500-year-old monastery in central Syria. The world's only recourse is to try to prevent the sale of looted artifacts, thus cutting off a lucrative stream of income for the militants. UNESCO chief Ina Bakova told the Associated Press just today. A series of recent attacks has stoked fears that the Islamic State is accelerating its campaign to demolish and loot heritage sites. Today, witnesses said the militants bulldozed St. Ilian Monastery in central Syria. Days earlier, the Islamic State beheaded an 81-year-old antiquities scholar who had dedicated his life to overseeing the ruins of Palmyra in Syria, one of the Middle East's most spectacular archaeological sites. This is just sad. That's all I can say. Well, the decision's nearing. Biden games out mechanics of the 2016 run. Tucked away at his family home in Delaware, Vice President Joe Biden has been huddling with longtime aides and family members, evaluating what it would take to launch a viable presidential campaign against well-funded Democratic opponents with a huge head start. Although Biden has yet to make a decision, his advisors say the vice president and his associates have started gaming out mechanics like fundraising, ballot deadlines, and an early primary state strategy. Also under consideration are the personal consequences for Biden and his family, who are still mourning the death of the vice president's son, Beau Biden, just a few months ago. Now, do not go away. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the newcomer to the Coke scene. Bush competes for Tea Party support. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away. Be right. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? We're talking news. Let's stay with it. Newcomer Coke scene. Bush competes for Tea Party support. Casting himself as a tax-cutting, passionate government reformer, Jeb Bush drew merely polite applause today from thousands of the nation's most active Tea Party conservatives gathered at the billionaire industrial Koch brothers summit. Only when the Republican presidential candidate wrapped up his 20-minute speech by calling for a military buildup did the more than 3,000 conservatives from around the nation join in a sustained cheer for Bush, a familiar face in American politics, but a newcomer in front of the Tea Party crowd. I promise you, if I'm elected president of the United States, I will restore the traditional role of the United States as a leader for peace and security, Bush declared at the annual summit of Americans for Prosperity. He snapped a salute to the audience before he left the stage. Industrials Charles and David Koch have cracked open a door to Tea Party support for Bush, a welcome opportunity for the former Florida governor, whose presidential competitors include several big Tea Party success stories. You know what? And that just keeps right on going, right? Well, Washington tragedy highlights firefighters' youth and passion. One was a college student for whom fighting fires was a summer job. Another had graduated and wanted to make firefighting his career. The third was already a professional firefighter who had gone back to school to earn his master's degree. Tom, I think it's Zebzewski, Richard Wheeler, and Andrew Zijak, the three men who died Wednesday when flames consumed their crashed vehicle in Washington State, were typical of the wildland firefighters who start out as fresh-faced college kids making as little as $12 an hour and then find themselves hooked on the work. 4 others were injured in the canyon, one critically, but their firefighting brothers and sisters had little time to mourn as raging fires forced entire communities to flee their homes 60 miles away. The complex of fires grew more than 100 square miles in a single day, creating a situation too chaotic to even track how many homes had been burned. We have lost them, but I don't know how many. Okanagan County Sheriff Frank Rogers said, "We've got no idea." As conditions worsened, emergency officials ordered evacuations in Okanagan with 2,500 residents, as well as Penasket, a community of 1,000 people in its surrounding area. Not everyone was told to leave. Was actually willing to go. I'd been up for about 40 hours, and I was very nervous, very concerned, because the fire was going to take everything we have, us and the rest of our friends, said Al Dotson, who stayed home despite evacuation orders in Twisp, 40 miles west of Okanagan. Nearly 29,000 firefighters, 3,000 of them in Washington, are battling some 100 large blazes across the drought and heat-stricken West, including Idaho, Oregon, Montana, and California. 13 people have actually died. You know what? If it's not terrorists, it's nature. You know, where does it end, right? How about this? Mistrial declared in police officer's manslaughter trial. In North Carolina, a judge declared a mistrial today after a jury deadlocked in the case of a white police officer charged with voluntary manslaughter in the death of an unarmed black man. Judge Robert C. Irvin declared a mistrial in the case of Charlotte Mecklenburg, I guess it is, police officer Randall Carrick after 4 days of deliberations. Irvin brought the racially diverse jury of 8 women and 4 men back into the Mecklenburg County courtroom about 4:10 p.m. The foreman said they continued to be deadlocked 8-4, and he saw no possibility of reaching a verdict. "Honestly, we have exhausted every possibility," the foreman said. Officials did not say which way the 8-4 vote was actually leaning. It just, at least that's not so bad. We can keep going back for another trial on that one. How about this? 10 years after Katrina, New Orleans leaves many behind. Talking about New Orleans, a decade after Hurricane Katrina, people here often reach for the biblical describing an economic and cultural resurrection. Helped by billions in recovery money, buoyed by volunteers, said driven by the gift of its own citizens, the city is enjoying a resurgence. Reforms from schools to policing to community engagement and water management are in progress, buttressing people against the next monster storm. But in the same breath, people also point to the many left behind. This New Orleans is winter and more expensive, or whiter and more expensive, and blacks still suffer society's ills disproportionately, especially in the chronically neglected lower Ninth Ward, a bastion of black home ownership before the flood walls failed. A lot of folks say things are so much better, the economy is so improved, and other people are going to say it is so much worse, said Allison Pryor at the Data Center, a think tank in the city. And both those realities are absolutely true. Isn't it just sad, right? Well, on a lighter note, Woods claims a share of lead at the Wyndham after shooting a 65. Tiger Woods signed up for his first Wyndham Championship, knowing his win would definitely keep his season from ending. He's halfway there. Woods shot a 5-under 65 today to share the second-round lead with rookie Tom Hodge. "I'm only at the halfway point," Woods said. "Only 36 holes. We've still got a long way to go." Woods and Hodge were at 11 under 129. Hodge shot a 67. Woods and Hodge were just doing absolutely fantastic. The sport's biggest name put himself in prime position to contend for his first victory in more than 2 years, one that would send him into the FedEx Cup playoffs. Woods followed his best round since 2013, a first-day 64 with one almost as good. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back, folks. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And boy, we've got some great cases for you today. First up is the IRS must consider a company's tax payment plan. Here's the story. A company lost money way back in 2005 and fell behind in paying payroll taxes. Now, the new owners returned it to profitability in 2006. At the start of the year, they proposed a plan to pay all current taxes starting in the second quarter of 2006 while paying off the back taxes in installments. But the IRS appeals officer rejected the plan, saying that he had to because the company wasn't paying its current first quarter 2006 taxes. The IRS started collection actions and the company went to court, and this is what the judge said. The appeals officer was simply wrong to say that he couldn't consider a reasonable payment plan because the current quarter's taxes weren't paid. The IRS is ordered to consider the plan now. You got to love that, right? When the IRS starts doing these stupid things, they got to pay the piper. And that's just the way that it ought to be, right? They got to pay the piper. It's just That's just the right way. I don't know of any other way to actually put that than that they got to pay the piper. How about this? The IRS concedes. You've heard me say it many times. They only concede when you know darn good and well that they can't prevail in court. Let me tell you about this case. Taxpayer can seek a new refund after agreeing not to. So let me tell you all about this thing. The company settled an audit dispute with the IRS by signing IRS Form 870-AD, which says that the taxpayer will not make an additional refund claim and the IRS will not assess any new tax unless it discovers additional wrongdoing by the taxpayer. Then, the company filed a number of new refund claims. IRS auditors sought to dismiss them, citing the agreement. The IRS legal opinion came back and said, Form 870-AD is not a closing agreement that finally settles a year's tax, but agrees only to items covered by the audit. Now here, during the audit, neither side had taken any position on the items leading to the new refund claim, so the company remained free to make them as they pleased. And you know what? Just common sense that the IRS seems to lack, right? How about this? The IRS loses. They cannot get work papers from a company's accountants. Let me tell you the story. Tax accounting work papers generally are not protected by any privilege of confidentiality, such as lawyer-client privilege. But in a recent case, when the IRS summoned work papers, the company refused to provide them, saying that they were included notes in its lawyers about how likely the IRS was to challenge certain items and the amount of reserve set aside to cover the challenges. This is what the judge said. The work papers were privileged from the IRS because they were prepared in anticipation of litigation against the IRS. Now, their only value to the IRS was not in revealing the company's tax liability, but in revealing its litigation strategy. Therefore, the company can keep them secret, and the IRS can just go pound sand. You got to love that, right? That's exactly what should take place. They should have pound sand. No, I don't have a lot of respect for the IRS. How about this? The IRS loses. Must pay taxpayers legal costs for a conceded case. Here it is. The IRS tried to hold Clyde Kinnison personally liable for $160,000 of employment taxes that it said his business owed. But the IRS eventually admitted that it sent the tax assessment after the deadline for doing so and conceded the case. Kinnison then asked the court to order the IRS to pay his legal costs. The IRS said that it shouldn't have to do so because its position had been reasonable until it missed the assessment deadline. This is what the judge said. In administrative proceedings, Kinnison had offered the IRS evidence that the tax had been paid, but the IRS rejected it, giving no reason. That was unreasonable, so the IRS must pay Kinnison's costs from that date until the date that it conceded the case. Now, you just got to love this kind of stuff, right? You know that I do, so you should too. Don't you ever wish that you were a fly on the wall when the IRS are doing things? Well, that's where we're at right now with this segment, Inside the IRS. Let me tell you about it. In this case, the IRS can access your credit report and find out about financial transactions that you might not otherwise want to share with it. Here's the thing. Suppose, for example, that your credit report reflects that you borrowed money to purchase an expensive car or boat, and suppose the IRS finds out. Its next step could easily be to contact your bank and obtain a copy of your credit application. If it does that, you have a problem. If the credit application reflects assets or sources of income that you're trying to hide from the IRS, it just found them. And what if you overstated your assets on the credit application? While this is not a tax crime, it is a crime under federal law. You're stung both ways. So, really, you got to be careful here, folks, always. All right, how about this? What happens to people who are sentenced to jail for a tax crime? In most cases, they're designated, they're what they call designated. That's the Bureau of Prisons lingo, meaning where a person is actually going to be sent. And usually it's to a camp. Now, a camp is a federal prison facility, but there are no gun towers, barbed wire, or jail cells. The other inmates in the camp are likely to be white-collar criminals and low-level drug dealers. It's dormitory-style setting with a relatively small risk for physical assault. Of course, the experience is boring and the time drags by slowly, and the truth is, you're still spending time away from home. Not a very pleasant thought if you think about it. Now, do not go away. We have got this man waiting in the wings. He is fantastic. He is Dr. Stephen Tidwell. And right after these brief messages, we're going to talk to him about tomorrow's dentistry today. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:33 p.m. Pacific time. Currently, this is getting to be cold weather. It's only 88 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, I don't want to wait too long because we've got our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell waiting in the wings. He's going to talk about tomorrow's dentistry today. So help me welcome our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell to the show. Hey, Steve. Welcome aboard, buddy. I'm doing good. Good to have you here. And you know what? If you notice the weather, it's almost sweater time, isn't it? 88 degrees. This is nuts. Boy, you can say that again. Just crazy stuff. So listen, exciting stuff going on at your office this week. Well, my wife came back with the biggest, broadest smile I've ever seen on her face ever. Well, it's interesting because when she got home, I mean, it's not very often somebody comes home and says, "Hey, honey, you want to see my tooth?" Yeah, I mean, yeah, really, it's just really cool. So I mean, I want to thank you. She came home a real happy camper. Yeah, it's been super. Well, yeah, I mean, just I think that machine has just been absolutely unbelievable as far as the service that you can offer to your patients now to make them more comfortable. First of all, they're a little more comfortable because they know, hey, my doc is doing it, and two, they can actually watch the thing happening. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to know what the next piece of equipment that you plan on buying is. You must have your eye on something else, because this has been such a tremendous advancement for you, that I'm thinking, well, he's liking this. He's talking about this, a lot, and he's going to have to get a bigger office to get some more machines. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you can't have the kind of success that you're enjoying with this new crown machine, and I don't know if I should call it that, but I don't know what you would call it. But you can't have that kind of success and not say, okay, I need to take the next step too. Mm-hmm. Holy cow! Really? Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's just an exciting. It's just an exciting. And the interesting thing is that if people were standing next to you and actually watching you talk about this machine, they would see the biggest smile and grin on your face, because it's not only making your patients happy, It's making you happy, the service that you can provide for them, and kind of control the quality from the beginning to the end, and not have to ask them to come back in 2 or 3 weeks. Oh. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, and money too. It's not just inconvenience. Time is money, Steve. And so when you're talking about that patient taking time off, they're not getting paid for that time off, or at least they're not being productive during that time off. So you're ahead of the game way all over the place. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, give out your contact information before we go on this break. And we're talking to our own doctor. I'm sorry, you know what? I talked over you. Say that one more time. Okay. Oh, I will. I can guarantee it. As soon as I'm off the air, I'll look at it. We're talking to our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell with Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. Don't go away, because when we come back, he's going to talk some more about these new innovations that are going on. You don't want to miss them. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2699 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. Aho Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Dental Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell and tomorrow's Dentistry Today. Hey, Steve, you got the microphone, my friend. Hey, before I forget, can you give that Facebook address so everybody can look at it? Is it Precision Dentistry? So it's facebook.com/Stephen Tidwell. Terrific. I'm gonna check it out. Oh, that's super. I look forward to it. So listen, what's new and exciting in the, listen, are you getting ready to, I was going to say leave the country again? You've been doing a lot of seminar traveling lately, and it's all recurring education to kind of keep up on what's new and exciting in dentistry. Anything coming up in the near future? You're listening to the right set anyway.
Well, you know what? That's exciting. You know, one of the things that I know you wanted to talk about today, and we touched on it a little bit last week, was the fact that there are some people that just do not go to the dentist. It's either because of fear is the number one factor, you said, but it's also money and stuff like that. And they really shouldn't not go to the dentist because arrangements can always be worked out, can't they? Yeah. 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 Like building a house, right? I mean, that's what contract. When you're building a house, that's. Yeah, I think what I was getting to was the add-ons. When you're building a house, when you start adding things on, is when the costs really start going up. But yeah. 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 It's really not. And you know what, considering what happens to you if you don't take care of your teeth. Yeah. 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 And you know what? And the truth is, I got to change the way I was going to say that. You would throw that amount of money away generally anyway and not even know where it went, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, my friend, give out that contact information one more time. We got about 20 seconds. And you know, Steve, I'm sorry. You know, I actually looked at your Facebook website while you were talking. It's beautiful. It's really nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Well, my friend, listen, we'll talk to you next week. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend and stay safe, will you? All right, you take care.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:08 p.m. Pacific time, currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. You know, talking about heat, well, we got the hottest lawyer in town. We've got Mr. David Garrett waiting in the wings. Let's get him in here.
From the bowels of the Hall of Justice, our own legal guru, David Garrett, attorney at law.
Hey, David, welcome aboard. Good to have you with us, my friend. You know what? Things have got, we have had some equipment changes and some transitions going on, and there's always been little snafus happening. It just seems like, I get up at some ungodly hour of the morning because the people that sold me this new software stuff are out of the country, actually. And so I have to accommodate their business hours. Looks like today's the first day that we've actually had it running pretty much without a glitch. That's working out pretty good for me. I'm I'm fairly happy, especially since yesterday and today were our first days in full syndication, and this new software was absolutely critical to us being able to do that. So we can add all the stations electronically, and I don't have to try and supervise each one of them independently. They're all going on at the same time, so it works out really good. Yeah. So listen, I want to know what kind of fish you got and how many of them you got last week.
Last week, so
I saw
with my fishing.
I saw the pictures, David. What a beautiful, beautiful young lady, and my goodness, you look pretty good too.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we had a good time there, and I'm happy to, with her and her new husband. Her new husband's a real good guy, and was just a very happy father last weekend. So.
Well, that's super. That's super. And you know what? I saw the picture on. I don't know if it was on Facebook. Yeah, it must have been on Facebook that you posted that, right?
Yeah.
And it was she's just a beautiful, beautiful young girl.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you, that Facebook thing, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. Every once in a while I can get one in there. So
there's days I hate it and there's days I love it. Most of the time it's just extra add-on work that I've got to do. But with the radio and stuff going on, you don't have much choice. You've got to use these social networks.
Exactly.
But for me, it's kind of nice because I follow you, and when you post something, I actually get it, and I enjoyed looking at those pictures. So just so you'll know that some people are actually looking at that, David.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the thing I'm confused now about is this tagging thing, and I think I know what it's all about. I just can't seem to figure out how to do it right on my phone. So I don't know. One of these days I'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
So, So I'm going fishing this weekend. I'm going to take a trip out to Catalina and see what we can do out there.
Well, sounds good. Sounds really terrific. So listen, what's new and exciting? I sent you some stuff, and I had to apologize. I've already forgotten what I sent you. So I'm assuming you've got something prepared for today.
Well, I do, and I kind of got out in left field here because I ran across a couple things that I found interesting and thought we ought to talk about it. It's a contrast of two different cases. And this one, surprisingly enough, has to deal with First Amendment rights and our high school students. It seemed, pretty interesting to me. I don't know. I hope I don't bore everybody with it, but.
Well, no, anything that's got to do with high schools. I mean, you know what? I graduated from high school in 1963, so I mean that's going to take me way back.
Oh yeah. Well, you were in the area when some of the case law in this First Amendment stuff was developing, and the thing that's kind of interesting with all this is, back then you could pretty clearly define what was in school and out of school communications. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, the court's kind of dealing with the dilemma of how do Twitter and all these other social media things, how do you really define that contrast between what would be deemed philosophically an in-school communication and what would be one out of school? Is part of that, is a focus on who is the intended audience. So it's it's a very interesting area. I think it's still under development, but in the past in school, well, you had your targeted school audience right there. Out of school, just as it implies. Nowadays, what if somebody posts something outside school hours, but the targeted audience is all of the friends and students on the social media that are, that would cross over to what I would characterize as an in-school communication. You're specifically targeting the scholastic environment. And that's one of the areas that the courts kind of got into with this. And both of these are cases involve social media communication. So,
well, they couldn't have gone back. They couldn't have gone back to 63 then, because I mean, computers were just getting started.
No, that's the change. Now we're dealing with this issue of social media.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s, we were dealing with one of the primary cases was some guys wearing black armbands.
Oh, yeah.
When they came to school.
Yeah.
So, that communication that, in this case, I think the court concluded it was protected speech, was clearly in school because they walked into school with black armbands on. And there would be a distinction on how, there ultimately was, but drawing distinctions about certain things you could, if you said it in school, would definitely be subject to censorship. On the other hand, if you said the same thing out of school, it may not be.
Right.
So that's kind of what I was addressing there.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you about this first guy here. It's a guy up in Minnesota, and he was an honor student at the school, a 4-time recipient of Scholastic Achievement Award, varsity letterman on football, basketball, baseball. I mean, just a top-flight individual. And he'd been admitted to North Dakota State University, just pending completion of his schoolwork. Individual is there's a called Roger Confessions. This is just kind of a little gossip website.
Mm-hmm.
The question is posed: did this individual actually make out with, and they give a name of a teacher at Rogers High School? The kid makes a smart aleck comment of, actually, yes, is what he says. Only response. This apparently percolates out there for a little bit, and ultimately the school finds out about it, and they initially suspend them for a period of time, then they double the suspension.
The teacher, not the student, right?
No, the student.
The student?
For making that comment about the teacher.
I thought you were going to say the teacher got fired.
No, we never got into that side of this case, but, for saying actually, yes, he gets suspended, double the suspension, and then they have a hearing on it. The school district didn't handle the hearing too well, it doesn't seem like, where ultimately he's given a choice of withdrawing from the school under threat that they're going to expel him. And if he got expelled, he'd lose his acceptance into the university. So rather than getting expelled and losing that acceptance, he voluntarily withdrew. To make things a little bit worse, you got a police guy that gets on there and says in open news reports, the individual could be facing that his comment of actually yes was the same as crying or yelling fire in a movie theater. They make no effort to conceal or protect the minor's identity. So they kind of think this guy is a bad kid. Well, they turn the evidence over to the district attorney, and the district attorney doesn't file charges. I mean, there was no criminal behavior there, and that kind of works its way through. But at the end of the school year, the individual, through his parents, filed a complaint for rights. And the question the court's presented with it, does this statement of actually yes, which the kid says, I intended this as a joke, being a sarcastic, was it a violation of his First Amendment rights? So,
Well, let's finish that story when we come back from this commercial break, David. We're talking to our own David Garrett on the law, and we'll be right back with David. He'll finish the First Amendment right case right after these brief messages. So please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Dental Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own legal guru, David Garrett, on the law. Hey, David, you've got the microphone. We were talking about First Amendment rights when we went on our commercial.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let me give you the other case because it's kind of the facts of it because they're interesting to contrast these two. The next case is one that comes down out of Mississippi. And apparently what happened here was there was this young boy that apparently heard rumors that were circulating around the school about a couple of coaches having inappropriate conduct with some of the female students. And this guy got exercised by that. And his method of expression was to post a rap recording containing threatening language against the two high school coaches on the internet. He puts it on his Facebook page and then on his YouTube page. And some of the things they allege, and I can't even use the language that's in that rap song, but he threatens them, tells them, you better watch your back. I'm going to hit you with my Ruger, Ruger being obviously a reference to a pistol.
Right.
Going to get a pistol down your mouth. And then another one up. If you want to cap referencing the coaches. And so it's against these two things that the court kind of looks on what is protected speech and what's not. The thing that was of interest to me is in both of these cases, the comments by the students were done after hours outside the school environment. And in the case of the rap song, it goes on for a while, talks about all the things he thinks that teachers are doing, and then threatens to do violence to them. In the case of the first case, some of these arguments that the school district met for censoring, to me, were just kind of out in left field. They tried to say they had the right to censor the student and expel him, and because the statement of actually yes to the comment about making out was obscene. They tried to argue that it was lewd conduct. And I didn't quite see either of those things, lewd and vulgar speech.
I'm confused. They asked if he was making out with the teacher. He said yes, and then he got suspended for that, for lewd conduct. And I mean, he all he did was answer their question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Out of curiosity, what state was this in? Okay, that doesn't do anything for me. Minnesota, I suppose that's up toward Quaker country, and you might, I don't know, but I don't know that to that extent. I don't know that the school did this, or the school district did this, or they did it in tandem, but it just seems so ridiculous to me. Yeah. think it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what? When you start, when you talk about kissing, I mean, you talk about an innocent thing. And so if they said that about a teacher, it seems to me they're looking at the student, they're looking in the wrong place, for Pete's sake. Who actually is supposed to be protecting the student and setting the standard and keeping the rules? And I don't see that as a First Amendment right. If the First Amendment right is, if they ask you a question and you answer it honestly, I don't see that as a First Amendment issue. And I certainly don't see that as vulgar and horrible. The student, I think then by saying yes, they should have investigated and said, is there any truth to this thing? Find out where the fault is at. Was there really any threat against the teacher, or was it the other way around, or was it actually something that was done cooperatively between the two of them? But this idea of taking it to a constitutional area when it's actually a school infraction, I don't even know how that even got before the board unless there was some substantial proof that something actually took place. You know what? I don't personally care for rap, and because I don't like the language, and I just don't like. I grew up in a different era, right, with bebop and stuff like that. However, I think it can be quite vulgar, some of the things that they say, but I don't think it should be censored. I think that there is a place for it, and I think that they have a right to do it. And if you don't like it, then turn off the radio or don't go to the performance. Yeah. Yeah, and so what they're doing, I mean, basically, it looks like they're actually policing the social media, and I don't even know to what extent that the school should be doing that. I think that's a thing for law enforcement. If you're talking about, demeaning somebody or defaming somebody, or lying about somebody like that or ruining their reputation, I think it's a police issue, not a school issue. And the school, I think, is just way off base here. And I don't understand why. Is it because the courts are saying, hey, we got enough to do, let's let the school handle it? Yeah. I think that when it's away from campus, it's no longer a school issue unless it's, between the students. If we're relating this social bantering to maybe a social bullying, then I can see where somebody's got to take some action there, and maybe that is, maybe it isn't the school, depending on what the circumstances are. There has to be some kind of a tool that's set forth to handle that. But because I don't agree with bullying, and I don't agree with defacing people they're ruining their lives because you can do that so easily. You know, the social media hasn't all been advancement. There's been some bad parts to that, and I think we've seen that with these young girls that do these stupid things, you know, these sexting and that kind of stuff, and they think it's only going to go to their boyfriend, and then the boyfriend puts it on the social media, and then the social media puts it in the world, right? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, David, give out your contact information. We're going over. Hey, David, thank you. Go out, catch lots of fish. You were cheated out of it last week, even though I know that you've got tremendous memories to bring home with you. But other than that, you know, go out, catch some fish, and have a wonderful weekend. All right, you take care. Now, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the birthdays for today, secret daily teachings for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this stuff. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:40 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what today is? Today is August the 21st, and it's actually somebody's birthday. Okay, here's somebody we all know. Was born in 1936, died in 1999. A professional NBA basketball player who is regarded as one of the most extraordinary basketball players of all time. Happy birthday, Wilt Chamberlain. And here's somebody that we all just kind of whistle at when we go by. She was born in 1956, an actress best known for her role as Samantha Jones in the series Sex and the City. Happy birthday, Kim Cattrall. And here's a person who was born in 1967, a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination actress known for her roles in the Matrix trilogy. Happy birthday to Carrie Ann Moss. And you know what? Let's talk about what happened today in history. Well, I can tell you that in 1878, the American Bar Association was actually founded. And in 1911, the Mona Lisa is stolen by a Louvre employee in Gay Paris. Well, also in 1959, President Dwight David Eisenhower signs an executive order proclaiming Hawaii the 50th state of the Union. Wow. Can you imagine? You know, if you think about it, not that long ago, 1959. It is and it isn't, right? So how about this? Our quote for today comes from Brad Ramsey. Brad says, there are two different kinds of people in this world. Those who finish what they start and, anyway. That's what it says, folks. I didn't just come up with that. Well, let's talk about the secret daily teaching for your life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. And I tell you this all the time. Here's the case now. I am asked very often by all types of people how to stop negative thoughts. The answer is so simple. Plant good thoughts. As you plant more and more good thoughts, the negative thoughts will be wiped out. Don't focus on the negative thoughts. Just deliberately think more good thoughts every day. And then there just won't be any time or room for those bad thoughts. Give that a thought. Well, time for our Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is, are you acting like a pushover? You have to get along with others to get things done, right? Yes, to a degree, you want to be cooperative, but you don't want to be seen as a pushover. Watch out for these signs that you've been taken being the good guy or gal too far. Chances are that if you're feeling these things, other people are noticing them as well. You kick yourself for not speaking up in meetings. You only realize your point of view on something after the discussion ends. Or you blame your colleagues for not giving you a chance to speak. Or you feel overwhelmed and pulled into multiple directions. Your calendar is all back-to-back meetings with no time to focus on yourself or your critical priorities. And finally, your peers get promoted before you. Yeah. Are you a pushover? Yeah. You want to be careful with that. Well, let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. I've gotten to where I like these things more and more. Some of them kind of surprise me. Some of them don't surprise me. Some of them I think, oh, what the heck? Who cares? Other ones I think the guy who had to get these things needs to get out and get a real job. But the majority of them now are really starting to interest me a little bit. Did you know the driest inhabited place on Earth is Aswan, Egypt, which receives 2/100ths of an inch of rain per year? Wow. That's nothing, folks. You think California's having a drought. Think of that. How about this? Up to 3,000 species of trees have been cataloged in a square mile of the Amazon jungle. Can you imagine? 3,000 species? Wow. Here's one. The oil used by jewelers to lubricate clocks and watches costs about $3,000 a gallon. Wow. I didn't know that. I guess they're not using 3-in-1 oil, huh? You know that nails grow at about 3 millimeters per month? You know, and they keep, by the way, did you know that they continue to grow even after you're dead? Here's one. Only 51% of South Carolina high school students will graduate, the lowest of any state. Now there is a sad, sad fact. How about this? Did you know that Albert Einstein was offered the presidency of Israel in 1952? But he declined. Wow. Offered the presidency. Here's something interesting. Stanley Kubrick approached Lloyd's of London about an insurance policy in case extraterrestrial life was discovered before the release of his movie 2001, A Space Odyssey. You know, it takes all kinds, right? Did you know that a horse has 18 more bones than a human being? I didn't know that. I don't know that I care, but I didn't know that. How about this? Did you know that 15% of Americans secretly bite their toes? I didn't know that either, and that's a high percentage. Besides which, can you imagine what great shape they must be in? Maybe they're talking about babies. Babies do that. It doesn't say that, though. How about this? During the chariot scene in Ben-Hur, a small red car can be seen in the distance. I'm gonna rent Ben-Hur just to see if I can see that. Can you believe it? There were no small red cars. What a fiasco. You know, today I guess they'd use high technology to get rid of that. How about this? Did you know that Florida has more tornadoes per square mile than any other state? And I believe that. That's interesting. Let me leave you with this. The idea that the boogeyman will get you comes from the boogie people who still inhabit an area of Indonesia. These people still act as pirates today and attack passing ships. Now, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. Now, don't go away. We're going to go on a commercial break. But when we come back, I'm going to answer your emails. The first one comes from Victor Garcia from New Brighton, Minnesota. He's asking about, or she's asking, if it's Victoria, she's asking about reporting mileage. And you know what? This is an important thing, guys. So we'll tell you all about it. And right after these brief messages. So please, don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Dental Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 88 on its way to 62, and I can't hardly wait for that. But right now, we're coming down to the wire. So I want to tell you the same thing I always tell you, and that is to always seek the advice of a licensed professional. They'll always save you more money than they cost you. And they'll give you some peace of mind, let you sleep at night. You know, the emails that you send me, I try to do as good a job as I can at answering them, but sometimes the data you send me is a little sketchy. You go to that licensed professional, they're going to interview you, they're going to draw out all the information that's necessary to give you a good, comprehensive answer. The nice part about it is, one of the conditions of their licensing is that they have to carry errors and omissions insurance, which means that if they get it wrong, they pay the piper, not you. That ought to let you sleep well at night, not worrying about the doorbell or people tapping you on the shoulder or those registered letters. Well, let's get to it. First email today comes from Victoria Garcia from New Brighton, Minnesota, asking about reporting mileage and says, I'm a bookkeeper for a firm whose key employee says it's too time-consuming to keep detailed driving records, so we estimate her driving and reimburse her the same amount for it every month. But how do I record and report this? Everyone else provides detailed driving records. Well, Victoria, you'll have to report the reimbursement paid to the key employee on her W-2 as taxable wages to her. The tax rules are very clear that tax-free reimbursement is available only when specific records are kept reporting the date, the destination, and business purpose of driving on a per-trip basis. Now, estimating, as you describe, is not permitted. So, for more details, see the rules for how to report reimbursements under the headings Accountable Plans and Non-Accountable Plans in IRS Publication 463. That's Travel, Entertainment, Gift, and Car Expenses. Hopefully, Victoria, that helps you. Well, next email comes from Jesu Hong from Raleigh, North Carolina. Says, I got a new baby and having a Social Security problem. She writes, I had a new baby at the end of the year, but due to a paperwork foul-up, have yet to receive a Social Security number for the baby. How do I claim her as a dependent on my tax return? Well, here's the thing. The law requires that a Social Security number be provided for every child who's claimed as a dependent on a tax return, but there's an easy fix to your situation. Prepare your return just as you always would do otherwise, but if you don't get that Social Security number, let's just say by April the 15th, which we know is gone, file an extension with an accompanying payment if there's a tax due. Now, when the Social Security number finally arrives, simply fill in on the return and then mail it to the IRS. Now, if you filed an extension, it's good till October the 15th. If you get past that, file the return without the Social Security number or the dependent, and then when that Social Security number comes in, just file an amended return, and you'll be just fine. You won't have any problem. Now, next email comes from Garrett Jarvis from Grand Rapids, Michigan, asking about charitable deductions, and writes, if the amount I deduct on my tax return for items such as charitable contributions is a lot larger this year than it was in past years, will this red flag my tax return for an audit? Well, Garrett, no. IRS computers do not flag a return for audit on the basis of year-to-year changes in the taxpayer's deductions. However, they do flag returns on which deductions for particular items are much larger than the average for taxpayers at that income level. But even that shouldn't deter you from taking legitimate deductions. Simply make sure that you keep all the required documentation to support them should the IRS question you. You know, you should pay your fair share of taxes, but not one god-awful penny more. You know, like Congress has pretty much demonstrated to us how prudent they can be when it comes to spending money. Now, my last email comes from Nicole Johnson from Akron, Ohio. She says, she's talking about tax-free home gain. Writes, we sold our home last year after living in it for many years, so our gain should be tax-free, but we just received a copy of a Form 1099-S that reports all of our sales proceeds, more than $100,000 to the IRS. How do we handle this? You know what? Don't worry. The 1099 was sent out by mistake, and your gain is still going to be tax-free up to $250,000 or $500,000 on a joint return if you met the 2 or 5 year residency requirement. Now, technically, you don't even have to report it on your return, but if the 1099 reporting more than $100,000 has been filed, IRS computers are going to expect to find a matching amount on your return, and it'll flag it for attention if they don't. Now, the simplest thing to do is report the sale on Schedule D of your return, add a note explaining what happened, then subtract an offsetting Section 121 exclusion amount so there's no taxable gain is the result. Now, that's what you need to do, and you'll be glad that you did. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, Live 365 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And we broadcast on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. On my next show, my expert contributor is going to be John Hanson talking food and wine. And my special guest, John Kurth, talking business success through scripting. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again on Monday for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, stay safe, stay happy, have a wonderful weekend, and good night, everybody.